Tonight, an abundance of caution.
We're not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize safety of staff or students.
A London high school shut down because of a bomb threat. Plus, police lockdown in St. Thomas.
Well, I came down this morning to go to the store and stuff, and they told me to get back into the building.
The major morning response for a reported disturbance. And called up for his country.
I'm just super grateful for this last-minute opportunity.
The Goderich native added to Canada's squad for the World Baseball Classic.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a high school in West London closed today because of a bomb threat. As Rita Ismail reports, Oak Ridge Secondary was shut down just as a major high school volleyball tournament was set to be played.
London police blocked off all entrances to Oak Ridge Secondary School today after they were notified of an email that was sent to the school involving a bomb threat.
Whenever we get a threat such as the one we received today, we always contact the police. We take every threat seriously. Obviously, the safety of staff and students is paramount in our mind.
The Thames Valley District School Board notified families and staff that the school would be closed out of an abundance of caution after receiving what they described as a concerning message. Police say the closure was necessary to allow officers to search the property thoroughly.
To ensure public safety, the school was closed for the day to allow officers on ground to search the outside of the school as well as the inside.
The closure also forced the postponement of the Western Ontario Secondary Schools Athletic Association Senior Girls Volleyball Tournament, which Oak Ridge was set to host.
It is a shame that we've had to reschedule the volleyball game today, and we're sorry about that. But whenever we do schedule events like that, there's always a backup plan. You never know what's going to happen to a building if there's a flood or a storm, whatever. So it has been rescheduled to Monday at St. Thomas Aquinas.
The board says student and staff safety remains the top priority and that they're working closely with police before reopening the building.
We're not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize safety of staff or students. We are going to work closely with the police services, and when they have secured their perspectives in terms of the building being safe, the school will open. Staff will be on site. We'll have counseling for kids if they ever need it. And I would encourage parents, if they have concerns, contact the school office.
Police say nothing suspicious was found inside the school. The investigation into the source of the threat remains ongoing. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
There was a heavy police presence in St. Thomas this morning, responding to what officers call a disturbance. As Sean Irvin reports, one person was taken away by police, but it's not clear why.
Members of the heavily armed critical incident response team of St. Thomas Police fan out at the entrance of an apartment building. Their arrival marked the final act of a tense morning for officers and residents on Confederation Drive.
I just looked outside and noticed there was a police car out front blocking the driveway.
The first officers arrived shortly after 6:30. Police confirmed they were responding to a disturbance call. It didn't take long for the situation to escalate. Residents stated the building was in lockdown for a time.
Well, I came down this morning to go to the store and stuff, and they told me to get back into the building, and I'm like, oh, really? They didn't say much. They had guns.
Within the first hour of the police action, multiple residents say one person was taken from the ground floor unit. But the incident did not end there. Officers took up positions outside a first-floor apartment as a canine unit scoured the area and a nearby retail plaza. Then, around 9 a.m., tactical officers entered a ground floor unit that had all its shades drawn. The nerves of residents intensified.
I went to take my kids to school. When I walked out, there was a couple cops in the lobby with their shields, their rifles, all that stuff.
The officers, backed up by those outside, spent 20 minutes indoors. The incident came to an end just before 9:30.
It's very unsettling. Luckily, they basically stayed on the first floor.
Some residents told CTV News that police are often at the building, but they said for the most part, it is a quiet place to live. Meanwhile, police believe no one was injured. A spokesperson stated the brief lockdown of the building was done in the interest of public safety. She could not confirm if police are still looking for others involved. In St. Thomas, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
London police say a body was found last night inside a home. They say the body was found inside a residence near Adelaide South and Maud Street, and the case is now in the hands of the Major Crimes Section. According to police, the coroner's office is now involved, determining the person's identity and a cause of death. U.S. Coast Guard officers were involved in an extensive ice rescue near Windsor after 2 Canadians got stranded on Lake St. Clair. With more on that operation and the warning from officials to stay off the ice, here's Stephanie Mazzotti.
We're prepared 24/7, 365.
U.S. Aircraft Commander Lieutenant Christina Silva and her co-pilot Lieutenant Connor Riley were 2 of 4 first responders inside this helicopter. They successfully rescued 2 Canadians trapped on the ice in Lake St. Clair off Ross Beach Road in Lakeshore.
Significant day for myself personally.
For Riley, it was his first rescue of his career.
It was cool though, being able to get out there and have a good outcome.
Lakeshore OPP received a call around 2:30 Tuesday for 2 men and a 4-wheeler stranded far from shore. After the ice cracked and they drifted away. The 2 men were airlifted by the U.S. Coast Guard and brought to Windsor's airport for observation by EMS. Neither men were injured.
We're asking another country to come into Canada to save a Canadian. It kind of feeds the narrative that's happening across the border. Is we're not staffed, we're not resourced to do the level of ice rescue, especially for people taking their vehicle out there.
678 Squawk 1277. We're approximately 10 miles to the east of your airspace.
Harbor Master Peter Barry says it costs around $1,000 per hour for a helicopter. The cost falls on U.S. residents.
Going out there, finding them, recovering them, taking them to the airport, there's a huge cost. And that cost went to the taxpayers of the United States, not to Canada. So we're causing a cost to another country, and we shouldn't be doing that.
But if the ATV ends up submerged, that will cost the driver.
It's a $500 fine, and you could be subject up to $30,000, of which is applied to your federal tax account. And we can also put orders to you to actually go ahead and recover through a licensed company. And you're going to pay a large fee for a barge and divers and others to get your vehicles off there.
Barry's message to the public.
Don't go on the ice this time of year. It's no longer safe. It's moving. It's breaking up. And remember that someone else is going to put their lives at risk to try to save you because you made a bad decision. And that's not fair.
Stay safe, and we'll be out there if you do find yourself in a bind, but help us help you.
Stephanie Mazzotti, CTV News.
Good evening. Flurries and blowing snow and falling temperatures this evening. We have snow squall warnings in effect in through Huron, Perth, Grey, and Bruce County. We have travel advisories outside of London stretching from Kitchener-Waterloo east to Toronto. Yes, snow flurries and snow squalls tonight. Flurries continuing across the area. Wind chills tonight will drop down between -18 and -20. Outside right now feeling like a -6 to a -11. Flurries with the blowing snow north of London. Accumulating snow expected to continue upwards of 10 to 15 centimeters in some of these snow showers. Again, these are creating some whiteout conditions. They've been on and off in the city of London. As we head through the evening, we're expecting a couple more centimeters to fall. This lake effect snow will be winding down overnight. Coming up, I'll take you through the forecast. We'll talk falling temperatures overnight, those wind chills, how long they'll last, and a little bit of spring showing up on the 7-day. I'll have all your local weather details coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Julie. President Donald Trump is signaling no retreat in his trade war. Today, one of his top trade representatives appeared on Fox News, singling out Canada, saying any trade deal will include tariffs. With more on the response in Ottawa, here's Mike Couture.
The State of the Union address? Prime Minister Mark Carney says he didn't watch the State of the Union address, but there are impacts for Canada. President Trump made it clear tariffs are a key plank in his economic plan for the U.S.
The view of the American administration is that there'll be a price to access the American market. I think, every country of the world that I know of is paying a price. What I'm saying is that Canada is paying the lowest price.
But that price could be paid in jobs. The U.S. Trade Representative today making it clear this is about moving manufacturing back to America.
We really want to focus on reshoring here. We want to have production here. We don't necessarily want to be dependent on China, Canada, or anybody else for things like cars and that kind of thing.
The U.S. has 50% levies on steel and aluminum going into their country and 25% tariffs on autos. It's why the Canadian government is trying to diversify trade away from our American neighbors.
GM and Stellantis have been cutting jobs here in Canada. Well, we will look towards Koreans, we will look towards Germans, and we will look towards Chinese investments.
While looking for other trading partners, Canada continues to work on saving the trade deal with the U.S. and Mexico.
The Canadians, I was in contact with my counterpart just this morning. He's going to come to town in a couple weeks. They have a few ideas on how they might want to have a deal with us. We're obviously open to that.
By comparison, Dominic LeBlanc's office was far less committal. In a statement, a spokesperson for the minister responsible for Canada-U.S. trade would only say LeBlanc and Brier had a number of brief, informal exchanges in recent days about a potential in-person meeting in Washington, D.C. in the near future. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
London has paid millions of dollars to developers and private industry through a pair of incentive programs meant to spur construction and economic development. However, an auditor has discovered City Hall never followed up to see if the programs are achieving their goals. Daryl Newcomb reports.
Without tracking whether it's actually making a meaningful impact in our city it's frustrating.
Councillor Susan Stevenson citing an auditor's report that found a pair of incentive programs called community improvement plans allocated tax dollars towards downtown and industrial land development without evaluating if long-term goals were being met.
Without post-funding monitoring, there is no assurance that projects deliver intended economic or community benefits.
Development charges on construction in the downtown or on industrial lands can be reimbursed to incentivize private investment. However, regarding the downtown program, the auditor wrote, quote, "There is no systematic post-funding process to assess whether projects deliver longer-term CIP outcomes, such as economic revitalization or sustained improvements in building conditions." And the CIP still references objectives from 1996. Quote, "Goals include cultural development and heritage preservation, yet current programs focus primarily on building rehabilitation and residential conversions." Meanwhile, regarding the industrial land CIP, quote, "Instances exist where projects stalled or were canceled after receiving incentives. Refunds occur only if permits are canceled early." And quote, "There is no mechanism to assess whether funded projects deliver intended economic benefits." City staff acknowledged the shortfalls and proposed an action plan.
Looking at that maybe at 2, 5, 10 years later to see whether more jobs have come forward.
City staff told the audit committee that the team in charge of community improvement plans has the equivalent of just 3.5 full-time employees. Actions to address the deficiencies are scheduled for completion between the end of this year and the middle of 2027. Stevenson suggested better monitoring of outcomes will require political commitment.
That's up to council, right? So if we want to see outcomes and we want our programs and services evaluated, then we get to ask for that.
We put the investment in. Did it have the impact we hoped? Were the jobs actually fully created or did it get scaled back?
Council will consider the audit report next month. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Researchers at Western University are attracting international attention for their work on algae. With more on their project and its potential, here's Jerry Dewan.
Diatoms are single-cell microalgae found in lakes, seas, and oceans around the world, accounting for an estimated 20 to 50% of the world's oxygen.
They convert a lot of carbon dioxide in oxygen, so they are great for all of us.
They also are one of the primary foods for a lot of organisms.
Where Professor Bocamil Karish saw real potential was for diatoms to be genetically coded to create a wide range of products.
We are really truly hoping that very soon we're going to be using those diatoms as factories for producing many products, from fuel to protein, to vitamins, etc.
The challenge is that diatoms have a protective silica shell. It makes them resilient in nature, but also made it difficult to deliver DNA to create the new products. The breakthrough came when then student and PhD candidate Emma Walker recognized that the shell on older diatoms was easier to strip away. She then set to work to create a chemical process to recreate that phenomenon. It opened the door to testing a broad spectrum of DNA coding options.
In the past, maybe we could test 10 combinations, 20. But right now with this method, we can test thousands in a fraction of the time. So by being able to go to such a high throughput, we are going to try to driven the cost of making all this product to the point that they are way cheaper than the existing methods.
In the case of fossil fuels, we know it's a finite resource. At some point, we're going to run out of oil in the ground. Still, as a society, we rely on fuel, and we'll have to find alternate ways of producing it. Karish says it will also reduce the environmental impact, especially when it comes to carbon emissions.
This algae essentially just needs, sunlight and seawater to create all these products. It also removes carbon dioxide and produces oxygen. So we have so many more benefits, and the carbon footprint is not even comparable.
Karish says the DNA delivery breakthroughs have the world taking notice.
Many collaborators are coming to work with us from different countries, and we actually created a consortium that right now have almost 60 scientists that we meet twice a year to discuss how actually to use the tools right now that we discover.
Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
A baseball player from Goderich has been called up to play for Canada at the upcoming World Baseball Classic. As Scott Miller reports, he doesn't have major league experience, but his career has actually taken him all over the world.
Brock Dykeshorn has had a long, winding baseball journey.
Looking back now, it's been my 13th professional season. I had 5 with the Astros through the minor leagues and 1 in Korea. Now this is my 7th in Taiwan. So it's been a wild road, and it's taken me places I never would have guessed before.
A baseball journey that started in Goderich and landed him in Taiwan will now take the 31-year-old Dykeshorn to the World Baseball Classic. Dykeshorn, a right-handed starting pitcher, was just named to Team Canada, a last-minute replacement for fellow Canuck Carter Lowen.
I was a little bummed earlier this winter when my name wasn't called on the first roster. So I kind of just put my head down, kept doing my thing, and I'm just super grateful for this last-minute opportunity.
The 6'9" Dykeshorn has made himself a household name in Taiwan with 6 stellar seasons with the Uni President Lions, winning the Chinese Professional Baseball League Championship in 2020. But in a week from now, as he prepares for the WBC, he'll get his first chance to pitch against actual major leaguers in an exhibition game against the Toronto Blue Jays.
I never got to play in the big leagues. I got to AAA, one level shy, but this will be my chance to play against the Jays, play against the big league guys, so I'm excited for that.
Of course, the real competition begins March 7th when Team Canada kicks off its World Baseball Classic tournament against Colombia. Dykeshorn, who comes back to Goderich at least once a year, says he is stoked to pull on the Team Canada jersey once again.
I had the pleasure of playing on the Pan Am teams in 2015, and we actually took down the States in the finals of that tournament. That's one of the coolest experiences I've had in my career. There's nothing like it. Nothing beats that. Nothing tops that. And the World Baseball Classic is something I haven't been able to do yet, and that's kind of the pinnacle of international baseball.
In Midwestern Ontario, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Municipal leaders celebrated London's designation as Canada's Forests Capital today, an annual distinction awarded by the Canadian Forestry Institute.
It is a recognition of not only the 7 million trees that we have in our city, but also the important role that they play to the history of the city, especially in the bicentennial year, but also the success of the city.
The award recognizes London's connection to forested landscapes and protecting urban forests. City officials say they're planning a variety of events this year focused on London's natural heritage. There was also a new plaque unveiled today at City Hall commemorating the distinction.
This plaque will travel to different events and city facilities this year for Londoners to see. It's a handcrafted wooden carving symbolizing Canada's forestry heritage. The carving was made by Delbert Dub Juby and was crafted from heritage pine logs retrieved from the bottom of the Ottawa River that rested there for a century from during the River Drive days. It depicts many elements of forestry as we know it in Canada.
When we come back, it's the Tee Up with Brent Lail, covering the week in local sports, and that includes the London Nationals and their push for home ice advantage with the playoffs around the corner.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. It's the Tee Up with Brent Lail and Brent. It's championship day in high school sports. Multiple teams fighting for spots at provincials. However, as we saw earlier, one of those championships was postponed today.
Yeah, AAA volleyball at Oak Ridge, Carlyle has been delayed due to that bomb threat at the school, which CTV News has learned was tied directly to the Oaks volleyball team. It's been rescheduled for Monday. The AA tournament just wrapped up at Parkside Collegiate. WASA AA final, host Parkside taking on Stratford St. Mike's. Winner goes to OFSA. The opening set was tight, with the Stamps taking it 25-23. Then by the second, the hosts started to dominate. They won the second 25-18. In the third, they jumped out to a 9-0 lead and would sweep the match. They win WASA for just the third time in school history and the first since 2001.
This is my first time going OFSA, and you could tell in all our eyes like we wanted it. We were training for it. We're excited. I feel like momentum was really big. Like we pushed through. Like when they got down, I'm so glad I'm not leaving in tears. Like I'm so happy.
It's been too long for Parkside volleyball. We've had a lot of really close WASA finals in the past for the boys and the girls, so it's awesome with this group of girls to make it finally.
AAA boys basketball plays their WASA championship over a couple of days. They had their quarter and semifinal games this afternoon. The gold medal game is at Mother Teresa tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Another huge year on the mat for Saunders' Thomas Fauner. This year he went undefeated in high school wrestling, en route to a berth in OFSA. He finished second at 2 university tournaments, and he's headed to wrestle at university this fall. Then he has big dreams.
I'd love to make it to the Olympics one day, represent Canada. That'd be phenomenal, but we'll see what's in the cards. Yeah, I've got great partners in the room. I've got great partners at London Western Wrestling Club. There's a lot of support behind it. It's not just me, but yeah, it's great to have my hard work noticed.
And on the girls' side, here's Courtney Pinheiro, who won WASA in the 47.5 kilogram weight class, and she'll head to OFSA in Peterborough. She was named the TV Raw Harry Garris Award winner for season MVP, helping her AB Lucas squad win the team award for the second straight year. OFSA Nordic skiing up in Harilia on Tuesday. Last week, we introduced you to this group. There's Logan Lawrence of Saunders finishing 49th out of 137 boys skiers. Sienna McCall of Beal finished 42nd in the girls' race.
The OHL playoffs are less than a month away, and the London Knights are defending champions. They may not be the heavy favorites they were last year this time around, though.
Yeah, way back in September, the playoffs seemed so far away, Carlyle. But hey, there's just 11 games left in the OHL regular season. The Knights are sitting in 5th place, 3 points behind the Sioux for home ice. London has 3 games in 3 days this weekend, starting Friday against the Spitfires. The London Nationals have just 5 games left in their regular season, and one of them is tonight at home against Kamoka. The Nats have gone 11-3 under new head coach Kelly Corpse since he replaced Brandon Pruss, and they've won 4 in a row. Like the Knights, the Nationals are 5th and have a great shot of moving into home ice in these final 5 games.
It's a cliche, you take one game at a time, but with this group, we're still learning. We're still working on some new structure and trying to play to a certain standard. And it's a very competitive division. I think if you look every night, seems to be some upsets, right? So we're hoping we can be one of those teams. You know, if we play the way we can play, I think we got a great opportunity, but we have to show up every night.
And about 30 kilometers south in St. Thomas, every point matters right now for the Stars, who are 1 point out of a playoff spot with 5 to go. They're at home tonight to tough Elmira. St. Thomas 9th with 45 points. They're 1 behind Waterloo, 2 behind LaSalle and Strathroy. Hey, just 2 points separate 6th and 9th.
A big week for local athletes at the Olympics, Brent.
And how about this, Carlyle? We sent 7 athletes with ties to London to the Games. All 7 of them came back with medals. We got 6 silver and 1 bronze. And here's a list of them, our Olympic medalists. Men's hockey, Drew Doughty, Nick Suzuki of London, and Rodney's Bo Horvat all won silver. On the women's side, Ella Shelton of Foldens, as well as London's Julia Gosling and Natalie Spooner won silver. Women's curler Sarah Wilkes is bringing home a bronze.
And Brent, 2 medals for Canada in curling, gold for the men, bronze for the women.
Yeah, and no rest for the Brad Jacobs rink as he's getting set to head to the national championship. But we won't really be rooting for him to win this time. That's because Tillsonburg Curling Club's Jaden King and his rink are at the Montana's Brier representing Ontario. It's their first Brier. They'll begin play Friday night in the opening draw against Nova Scotia. Then Sunday afternoon, how about this? They'll face Brad Gushu, who's playing in his final Brier. And finally, a huge congratulations to the Atchison family. This past weekend, Julie's husband, Rob, was inducted into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. And Julie, that's the trifecta. He's got the London Sports Hall of Fame and the Drag Racing Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it was a remarkable achievement and a wonderful accomplishment. All of our family and friends were there, and I was so proud of him, and it was really a special evening. So, yeah. Congrats to Rob.
Congratulations. You're also here, of course, for the weather story, Julie.
Yes.
What's it looking like out there?
You know what? We have flurries moving back into the area tonight, so expecting a couple centimeters of snow and blowing snow. Wind chills as well overnight, Carlyle. It'll feel close to minus 18. So you can feel the temperature dropping. The winds are quite gusty out there. Our high today hitting the freezing mark. Our low temperature, well, that's starting to drop. So through the day, it was about -3, but continuing to fall this evening. On and off snow showers off Lake Huron. We had a trailing cold front following that clipper, and with that front coming through, winds gusting upwards of 50 kilometers per hour as we move into tonight. So flurries and blowing snow. I mentioned off the top the snow squalls continuing in Midwestern Ontario and travel advisories in effect, stretching all the way through Kitchener-Waterloo east to Toronto. High pressure will follow this cold front, and we'll be back into some sunshine as we head into tomorrow. And we're going to shut down the lake effect snow. As the area of high pressure comes over the Great Lakes, that'll shut down the winds, and as a result, we won't have that moisture flux coming off the lake. Across the country tonight, we have some warmth building in Western Canada, a nice ridge leading to some milder temperatures, but you can see where that cold polar jet lies, and temperatures across northwestern Ontario, and as we head out east tonight, still holding below the freezing mark. Wind chills tonight, yes, it's going to be a cold one. Frigid air mass in place, and there will be areas in southern Ontario and central Ontario where we see the cloud cover break up. Those areas will see the temperatures quickly bottom out. The areas holding on to the snow squalls, of course, in the cloud cover, we'll see the temperatures a bit milder. So varied conditions in terms of temperatures overnight. This little monster squall, well, I guess it's not a little one if it's a monster, if it's pushing through the Bruce Peninsula, it'll continue tonight. So that means blowing snow and whiteout conditions. Snow squall areas that are under the warning, very fluctuating in terms of where these snow squalls are setting up. So they are quite variable, oscillating north and south over the next 6 to 8 hours. Then overnight, things really start to calm down. The temperatures, -10 in London, -11 in Mount Forest, -15 in KW. Along the lakeshore of Huron and Erie, -9 to -10. We'll start your Thursday with some sunshine. Heading out the door, make sure you're bundled up. Lots of sunshine to carry us into the afternoon under a mix of sun and cloud. Winds will be light, the high -1. No flurries in the forecast in London tomorrow. We're expecting lots of sunshine. It'll be a nice day, but it will be cold in the morning. We do recover, though, quite nicely in the afternoon. Friday, a mix of sun and cloud, 8 degrees. Look at that swing. It'll feel spring-like heading into Friday. +8. So we're going to go from -8 Friday morning to +8 in the afternoon. That is a major swing. We hold on to the mild temperatures Saturday at 3 degrees. Chance of nighttime snow Saturday. That's the cold front coming in, indicated by that big drop on Sunday, -5. -3 on Monday under a mix of sun and cloud. We have some showers in the forecast. Showers, yes. Tuesday with temperatures back above the freezing mark. Heading to Midwestern Ontario, your forecast tomorrow, a -1. Still a chance for some nighttime flurries for you, but I'm not expecting any additional accumulation. The snow squalls will be winding down heading into your Thursday. Friday, a mix of sun and cloud and 6 at the freezing mark as we head into Saturday, and then a big drop on Sunday. We're down to a -7 and a mix of sun and cloud on a Monday. Carlyle, still some rough road conditions out there tonight. Still whiteouts north of the city with flurries and blowing snow. In London, the flurries will be on and off, basically like we've seen today. We see a little bit of a break, some sunshine peeks out, and then the snow moves back in. Typical of snow squalls, so flurries expected heading through the late evening.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. When we come back, how the country is holding up in the middle of a challenging winter, the impact on aging city infrastructure across Canada.
Pure Country 93 wants to send you to Sandals South Coast in Jamaica. We're giving away an all-inclusive Caribbean vacation for 2 every weekday. Listen for your chance to win. Pure Country Passport with Sandals Resorts. Get closer to the Caribbean.
Broadway's Tony and Grammy-winning musical is coming to London. Don't miss Hadestown as part of the Broadway in London season at Canada Life Place, March 10th and 11th. Enter online at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the show on March 10th.
An early and intense winter is taking a toll on Canadian highways and streets, creating potholes and bursting pipes. With more on the weather's impact on infrastructure across the country, here's Adrian Gabriel.
Traversing roadways while dodging crumbling Canadian infrastructure can feel like a winter sport unto its own, with costly consequences. CEA reports its members in Ontario and Manitoba are forking over an average of $900 a pop out of pocket each time their vehicle is damaged by a pothole.
There's an additional cost that consumers bear or taxpayers bear when they suffer vehicle damage as a result of the infrastructure and the impact of our climate on the infrastructure.
It was on this side, and we went totally kaputso.
Georgia Nevinson's front tire was a casualty of a roadside crater.
Thankfully, my rim was fine. Otherwise, I would have had to fix those.
There's a real financial impact for Canadians.
There is. Do I now have to put in pothole insurance into my monthly budget?
Since January 1st, Toronto has repaired just over 23,000 potholes. By this time last year, the city had already filled 10,000 more. Year to date in 2024, road crews had patched up more than double this year's total. Toronto's Transportation Department says it's behind because crews have been too busy with snow removal operations. In Atlanta, Canada, Nova Scotia music legend Anne Murray recently took to social media, writing, "I'm going to get some sand for my car so I can start filling the potholes in the streets of Halifax." From burst water mains in Alberta to car-crushing craters, the cost of extreme winter weather is pushing rates even higher, according to the Insurance Bureau of Canada.
You need provincial governments, you need the federal government to really step up with funding for infrastructure that is more resilient to severe weather events.
This year in Toronto, they've nearly doubled the snowfall totals, and with more now falling and with potholes that you can actually stand in, it's a safe bet that they will surpass last year's $153 million winter maintenance budget. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Canadian regulators have now approved all models of Gulfstream business jets less than a month after the aircraft were mentioned in a threat from President Donald Trump. Transport Canada certified the Georgia-based company's G700 and G800 jets on Monday, 8 days after greenlighting 2 older Gulfstream models. This means the jets can be sold in Canada, opening a new commercial opportunity for the American plane maker, a major rival of Bombardier. Last month, American authorities threatened to ground and tariff Bombardier planes and any other Canadian-made aircraft if the Gulfstream jets remained uncertified. Canada's main stock index was up today, helped by strength in the financial and technology sectors. The TSX gained 157 points. In New York, the Dow added 308, the Nasdaq up 288. Canadian dollar gained more than 1/10 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold added almost $50 an ounce. Oil lost 21 cents a barrel. Later on CTV News, Canadian aid for Cuba, the federal government offering support despite the American oil embargo. Welcome back. Federal officials are promising Canadian support for Cuba in the midst of a fuel and food crisis. American authorities have cut off the island nation from Venezuelan oil, creating a dire humanitarian situation. With more on the support we're sending, here's Heather Wright.
At Cubano Kings in downtown Toronto, the menu is simple but authentic.
How you doing, buddy?
Cafecitos, Cubanos, Pastelitos. Canada has been Felix King Risco's home for 2 decades, but his heart is still in Havana with his family.
They're not doing so great.
His mother, aunts, and cousins all still live in Cuba, where electricity is limited, food is expensive, and gas is scarce.
6 o'clock, there's nobody on the street. People are afraid of getting mugged. People are afraid of getting robbed, all the staff.
Since January, the United States has blocked all oil from entering Cuba, trying to squeeze the Cuban government and force a regime change. But the blockade has quickly led to rapidly deteriorating conditions across the country. Today, Canada announced $8 million in aid to Cuba to be delivered through the World Food Program and UNICEF.
And Cuba is going to need massive assistance of various sorts, and food, I think, is going to be a big one. So $8 million worth of food won't go all that far for a population of about 10 million.
It's a balancing act for Ottawa as it tries to provide aid that goes directly to Cubans and not the Cuban regime, while also not inflaming tensions with the United States, which has vowed to place tariffs on any country that sends oil to the island nation.
I have not discussed Canadian aid intentions with Secretary Rubio or the United States. This is Canadian foreign policy.
For Felix King Risco, he says his country has been through many challenging times, but this one feels different.
Something needs to change.
Global Affairs Canada says this money will be released immediately, adding they continue to monitor the situation in Cuba and will respond accordingly in the future. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Police in Ottawa are investigating after several pedestrians were hit by a driver this morning, one of whom died. They say 4 pedestrians and the driver who hit them were all taken to hospital. Police say the man who died was in his 70s.
This car just came out of nowhere full speed and missed me by an inch and knocked me on the ground and hit 2 people in front of my eyes. So I'm in total disbelief right now.
The driver crashed into a building that's run by a local mission. Road conditions at the time were snow-covered after a system brought about 4 centimeters to the area. A new report warns child poverty in Canada is rising, reversing years of progress. A recent report found nearly 30,000 children fell into poverty last year. Researchers say the country is approaching poverty levels last seen in 2017, suggesting at the current pace it would take nearly 400 years to eliminate child poverty completely. The report makes several recommendations, including strengthening the National Poverty Reduction Plan, boosting the Canada Child Benefit, and investing more in childcare and housing. Healthcare advocates were in Ottawa today calling for action on a concerning cancer trend. They say cervical cancer is the fastest growing type of cancer in the country, but it's almost completely preventable. The Canadian Women's Health Coalition and the Gynecologic Oncology Society are among the groups pushing for better detection and prevention. Most cases are caused by HPV, for which there's a highly effective vaccine available. Canadian authorities have set a goal of eliminating cervical cancer by 2040 by getting 90% of kids vaccinated. Today is Pink Shirt Day, part of an annual anti-bullying campaign.
The first perspective that we got to challenge is this idea that snitches get stitches, because that concept continued to keep a group of students quiet while their colleagues are being physically and verbally abused and nobody's doing anything about it.
The campaign was first organized by students in Nova Scotia back in 2007, supporting a boy who was bullied for wearing pink. It's now recognized across the country and in New Zealand. Organizers say they've raised more than $3 million for anti-bullying initiatives since 2008. Canadian hockey star Sidney Crosby will miss time in the NHL because of the injury he suffered during the Olympics. The Pittsburgh captain is out at least 4 weeks, according to Penguins officials, with a lower body injury.
Obviously, I want to be back out there as soon as possible, so just have to figure out, what that looks like, how long it's going to be, and, find a way to make sure that I'm at my best when I come back.
Crosby was hurt during Canada's quarterfinal win against Czechia and did not play in the semifinal or the gold medal game. Welcome back. Canada's AI minister issued a statement last night expressing his disappointment after meeting with officials from OpenAI discussing the Tumblr Ridge shooting. With more on the legislative safeguards now under scrutiny, here's Judy Trin.
4 cabinet ministers responsible for artificial intelligence, justice, public safety, and Canadian culture met with OpenAI officials behind closed doors for 1 hour.
We're here and we're very grateful for the ministers for inviting us to be here. This is serious and we're going to be in touch. We're going to give a briefing to the ministers.
The ministers did not get an answer to their question about safety thresholds.
And we are disappointed that they did not provide any concrete proposal.
7 months before the tragedy in Tumblr Ridge, shooter Jesse Van Rootselaar's use of ChatGPT was flagged internally for abuse and enforcement. She was banned from the platform. But OpenAI did not alert police until after the rampage.
A course of failure occurred here.
We need to trust their behavior, not their reputation. The reality here is we need to see concrete measures that are going to be put forward.
The global leaders in clean technology, artificial intelligence, life sciences.
Since he took office, the Prime Minister has actively promoted AI investment to spur trade. Mark Carney is also signaling he wants results.
Obviously, anything that anyone could have done to prevent that tragedy or future tragedies must be done. We will fully explore it to the full lengths of law and will be very transparent about that process.
The government is currently working on several bills to regulate online harm. Some have been in progress for years.
I am very concerned about the government's capacity and willingness to address artificial intelligence policy writ large.
Although cabinet ministers described their meeting with OpenAI as disappointing, they noted that the tech officials said they would return at a later date, hopefully with answers. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
American and Iranian officials say they're preparing for a new round of talks aimed at diffusing tensions of Iran's nuclear development. The Iranian president says his country sees a favorable outlook for negotiations tomorrow in Switzerland. The U.S. president has threatened to bomb Iran if that country's leaders don't agree to limits on their nuclear program. However, Iranian officials have said those efforts so far have been peaceful. Bill Gates has reportedly apologized to staff of his charitable foundation over his links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The Wall Street Journal first reported the Microsoft founder admitted to having 2 affairs with Russian women, which Epstein later found out about. Gates insisted he did nothing illicit and saw nothing illicit. The 70-year-old has not been accused of any wrongdoing by any of Epstein's victims. A live stream set up over a bald eagle's nest in California captured the moment an egg was laid yesterday. The eagles have become well known, making their home in Big Bear Valley, just outside Los Angeles. Last month, their nest was destroyed by intruding ravens, who actually ate 2 previously laid eggs. The mother eagle was seen yesterday rearranging her nest before a new egg appears out from under her.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest on the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Welcome back. The author of the Heated Rivalry novel series says the next installment has been delayed as she deals with worsening Parkinson's symptoms.
And it's made it difficult physically to write, so I'm definitely a lot slower, and that's just something I need to learn how to navigate and kind of face instead of ignoring. And for all of these reasons, I've decided to move the publication date for Unrivaled to June 1st, 2027. I hope that's not too long a wait for everyone. I just needed a few more months for writing.
The new novel is called Unrivaled. It's the third book to cover the relationship between the two main characters portrayed in the popular streaming series, which has been renewed for a second season. And finally tonight, a Montreal-based comedian and his all-black comedy tour. He says it's the only one of its kind in Canada, providing a platform for black voices on the national comedy scene. With more, here's Sweet Arasi.
For Rodney Ramsey, the stage isn't just a place to tell jokes. It's where he found his purpose.
I fell in love immediately. It was exactly what I wanted in life, and I just never stopped.
More than 2 decades later, he's still going, turning his everyday experiences into laughter.
What it's like to be a black man living in society, you know, racial, economical, like all that stuff.
But along the way, he noticed something was missing. He says while Montreal does have a strong comedy scene, especially in the French community, space for black English-speaking comedians is limited.
There's like no tour for black comics. There's tour for everything, right?
So he co-created one called the Underground Comedy Railroad. He says it's the first all-black comedy tour in Canada. Now in its 14th year, each February, it coincides with Black History Month, with black comedians embarking on a nationwide tour, hitting as many cities as they can. Ramsey says building that platform was about providing opportunity for those who might not always have it.
Sometimes they won't book more than one black comic because they think it's like too much blackness.
He's also sharing what he's learned teaching comedy at the Comedy Nest, as well as through virtual reality, helping a new generation find their voice.
But stand-up can be taught. Anybody can learn it. Everybody at some point in their life has made another person laugh.
And while Ramsey says the hustle can feel constant, there's a reason why he keeps pushing.
Doing this tour, it makes me feel like I'm a part of Canadian Black history as well.
A reminder that history isn't just something to remember, it's something that's still being made. Sweet Arasi, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.